No, I mean, I've only had my car back for what, like 4 days, and I have the same exact issue. And when I left there, and you told me that I said, did you check the check engine light, and is there anything else going on? And then you said, no, the check engine light is off right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, when we turned it on, the light was off.
Yeah, the light was off. And so, so I mean, and you said you did a full scan and everything. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out is that, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So sometimes when there's low, like there's voltage issues going on, that could cause stuff to happen. And after we connected that better, everything started kind of working fine. The light didn't go on. We didn't notice any kind of electrical issues. So unless we could get it to duplicate, then can't really.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Going on there. In terms of like the electrical, once we got that connection secure and it was actually starting properly, the check engine light wasn't on, and they didn't notice any kind of electrical issues. Like nothing was like popping out.
Yeah. And it's not even like when a starter goes bad, it normally doesn't go bad just like this. It doesn't just like go bad all of a sudden. It's like, I know how that normally it's like, okay, it's not starting. No, this is like nothing, like no power, no anything. It's more like a connection issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's what doesn't make sense. So anyway, yeah, it's dropped off there again, and so if you can let me know what's going on.
Yep, I'll write that up. We should have some time afternoon today to get that looked at. So
okay.
I'll write that up and we'll take a look as soon as we can.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I have to record this now because I'm very upset about what's going on with my car. How am I supposed to, I do all the maintenance on my car, the oil changes. I bring it in to these places who we're supposed to be able to trust. I pay $200 for a scan. They don't find anything. What is the point of me trying to go out of my way to be to professionally take care of my vehicle with maintenance and everything if we don't have mechanics and stuff that help us figure out what's really going on? I don't believe when a starter starts to go bad. He tried to say, "Are you sure it's not the starter?" It's like, I just had a starter put in, okay, like within like 6 months ago or something, 5 months ago, and okay, so that doesn't make sense. Okay, what are the symptoms when a starter goes bad? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it should happen just like that. Okay, symptoms of a failing starter include clicking or grinding noises when you start the engine. The failing to crank or cranking slowly. No, I didn't have anything. Mine is like, I turn it over, there was no sound, no anything. Okay, and this starter was just put in. So, does that make any sense to anybody? No, that doesn't make any sense. And he said, did you call the mechanics? Like, no, because I don't think that it's an issue with the starter. I wasn't having any of these issues. I've only had it back for 4 days from the Kia, or something like that. And then, I'm not gonna. So I had none of these type of things happening. Grinding noises when you start the engine failing to crank. No, it just made no noise at all, just silent. Okay, so to me, there's something else going on. It's some kind of a connection issue again. That's why I brought it into the Brooklyn Park Kia a few months ago. I paid $200, and I said and they were supposed to do a full diagnostic, which included electrical, and they didn't. They said, oh, you got to pay extra for the electrical. And I said, no, that's not what it says. I paid $200. That was supposed to include the full electrical check on the vehicle. It's like if you can't even trust a dealership, and they're supposed to be licensed and know, who can you trust? So this is really concerning for me right now. Last time I brought it in there, they said it was just a connection issue, and it started right up after they did something, and that's what it seems. It seems like the same exact thing, some kind of a connection issue. So, that's why I tried to get the Brooklyn Park Kia. I paid $200 to do a full diagnostic, and I just had that done 3 months ago, and they I don't know what they didn't tell me that they found anything. I said that there's been issues with radios and connections issues. These things, these check engine lights and different lights come on and off on my, okay, so that's not normal. I've never had that in the past. So it seems to me like there's something affecting the connection issues, the connections, or wherever the sensors are, things like that. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. If somebody is a mechanic and they can help me out in this issue, I would appreciate it. But, you pay a lot for a vehicle. You expect it to be reliable, dependable. You do the maintenance like you're supposed to do. And then you got these people just playing games and not doing their jobs as mechanics and being truthful with you. I don't feel like the mechanics are being truthful. I think there's something going on, and I don't think that they're getting to the bottom of it, and they just want to keep making money off of me. Okay, that's what I feel like, and it's making me very angry. I feel like they're not being truthful, and they're not getting to the bottom of it, and they're just trying to make a bunch of money on me. And that's how a lot of women feel in the area. These mechanics, it says that, as a dealership, you're supposed to have, a specific dealer license, but then, and it says you're supposed to have a mechanic license in Minnesota, but like the main, a lot of mechanic, you have a business license, but then sometimes there's some mechanics that aren't always licensed. It's kind of like massage therapy, but it's a little bit different, a little bit more different when you go into a massage therapist. They can't actually hurt you. When you go to a mechanic, they can cause extreme damage to your vehicle if they don't know what they're doing. So I think this has to be taken way more seriously than it's like, if somebody goes into a massage therapist, they're more like, I've never heard of anybody getting injured from a massage therapist, but there's a lot of people that have had issues when they've gone into some bad mechanics, or mechanics that aren't truthful, that just want to make money off of them. I mean, these people have to be held accountable. There has to be some kind of accountability, because we're getting to the point where we're so freaked out, not knowing where to bring our vehicles, where we can trust. I was just on a walk, and this guy called, and I just wanted to take the call. But there has to be accountability for these mechanics, because it's become such a serious problem in this area. When I went back there to that car X and tried to talk to the manager in charge of the car X, when I was first having problems, this is over a year ago, that I had brought my car, and it's been nothing but problems ever since this. And there was a girl there that also had problems at that car X in Plymouth, where she had purchased a $100 Groupon for a brake job, and they wouldn't honor it. So I mean, this is a very untrustworthy mechanic that I brought it to, and they did something to my vehicle. I believe they put something on it. And so if these mechanics can't be held accountable, they can do very serious things to our vehicles. And it's not like, it has to be, they have to be held accountable in some way. They have to be regulated or something like that, because they can put things on your car now. They can they've caused oil leaks to happen to my vehicle. I brought it into one oil change, and they caused an oil leak. It's just like, we don't pay you to damage our cars. You know, when we bring it in, we expect you to know what you're doing, and if you don't, then you shouldn't be in business. You know, I don't know. I just think this has to be taken like way more seriously than what people are taking it, because it's not like, you know, these people can cause extreme damage to people's vehicles. These are, you know, you pay a lot of money for your vehicle. The economy is bad right now, and if we can't even trust the mechanics to take, you know, and we try to do our part doing the maintenance, and we expect you to not damage our vehicle and to get to and help us get to the bottom of what's going on, not have to worry about, like, I don't trust the mechanics at all. Like, I have to sit there and I have to go back there and check on them so they're not tampering with my car. I have to bring people with me so they don't try to screw with me. Like, it's become a really big problem, you know, and it shouldn't have to be that way. I have to, you know, get people involved in helping me figure out, because they're not truthful to me, that kind of thing. Like it's a whole like ordeal just to try to bring a car in to a mechanic. And it's like, you know, we have, you know, there's ones that we feel like we can trust. You know, the word gets out when there's one that we can't trust, like CarX, you know. And then it's like, okay, then you go to this one mechanic and then they try to put some of the good ones out of business. Like there was a Midas in Brooklyn Park that was really good, and then they're not there anymore. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, my car is at, you know, something's going on again, and we're trying to figure out what it is. It seems like last time it was just a connection issue, and, you know, and it was a simple connection issue, and then they fixed it, and it was starting fine, and the check engine light was off and everything. It seems like something minor again, and I paid $75 for a diagnostic. Okay, and but if you didn't fix it, why did I just pay that money? You know, this is why I feel like it's just a money-making thing, you know, and they're not getting to the bottom of it. They keep trying to tell me different things, but what he just told me, it might be the starter, doesn't make any sense, because it's not having those symptoms. You know, they think that we're really dumb as women and that we don't know what's going on. But I was in the military, and I was a tool and parts attendant, and I worked with the guys that were working on the Humvees, and I worked right in the mechanic shop in the Phoenix with the guys. And I was a tool and parts attendant, because I was supply and admin. You know, so I mean, I know more about vehicles than what they think that I do, you know. And plus, my dad was a mechanic. He was an aircraft mechanic, and he was a good car mechanic and stuff like that. So, I mean, he taught me some things. But yeah, so we have to just be aware of these type of things, because it's really dangerous right now. Okay.